Yep. It's on me just now, but hopefully we get some people joining here. In a second, uh, I'll put this in a bunch of Twitter groups so that people can kind of file in. If you want to speak, feel free to request to get on stage. I do not mind. I encourage all people to come talk. Get your shit off. But y'all know what we talk about today. Play-in machinations, potential playoff things. Jimmy talking reckless again in a newspaper article. All types of stuff and things and stings and stuff. Shasu, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good. I just got back from NYC, so
What was up there?
my friends came down, so chopped cheeses and restaurant things.
Huh, okay. Bacon, egg, and cheese here. Good to shout out to that. But yeah, so Miami secured their spot. I don't know, like how many people have done this, so let's do a quick recap. Miami kind of secured their spot as the eighth seed, so they're going to be traveling to Philadelphia on Wednesday to play in the play-in game for a chance to potentially get in as a seventh, fall down to the eighth. Who knows? Can't wait to hear these terrible takes. I don't have takes, brother. I only speak the truth. It's your choice whether or not you choose to listen to it. Chasu, first, I want to ask you, bro, like, when people were thinking about all these different scenarios where Miami could potentially get to like 5, 6s or whatever, like, did you buy into any of that before like we got to where we eventually got to?
No, because it hinged on the Brooklyn Nets winning a game, and I didn't believe in that shit for 1 second.
Okay.
I believed in Cam Thomas magic, and then I saw they were playing Tyrese Maxey. I said, "Yep, this is over."
Yeah. Okay.
Plus,
Well,
I didn't want the 3-6. I wanted New York out of all the teams, so I was kind of hoping it built this way.
look, I guess that's even more important because now that New York is the two, that means that we're in the perfect scenario where we can win this game and have the dream matchup of us versus New York in the first round.
And that is
How?
what you call a dream scenario, brother. Because
Oh, what you
this
talking
is
about? Like
setting
us
up.
versus New York?
No, this is setting up perfectly for them to fall into another deep playoff run. 'Cause
That's what I know. Like that's the part that I want to make sure
don't
that
have to play Celtics second round if it happens. Could
yeah, like
like it's
it's lining up perfectly for. Also, somebody go find Vince one of these days. Like, make sure that he's not out here cold in these streets. I haven't heard from him in a while, and I'm a little bit worried. But yeah, so Miami landed in the scenario where it lines up perfectly. If you win this game, you're in a perfect bracket for yourself. The bracket that you'd hope to get to. You avoid Boston until at least the Eastern Conference Finals if you can make it that far. But doesn't that feel like the perfect setup for Miami to let us down?
as I said,
Like,
it might as well let you. I think I win either way.
okay,
They beat New York. I hate New York. They get to the second round, blah blah. They win, decent playoff run. They lose to New York. Oh, there will be changes.
if okay, so I've repeatedly said this, and I'm going to stick to it. I think that regardless of the outcome of this off season, barring a run that ends with them winning the championship, I think that they have already made their minds up that they're going to move on from this particular build. Like, I think that's already like set in stone. I agree with I don't know how to say your name, bro, but he said Hero gets traded this offseason. I agree with that. Like 1,000%. I think they've already made their mind up on that. Unless they win the championship, then all bets are off. I, I don't I don't know if I picked them to beat Philadelphia for them to line up in that. Like, I picked them on Twitter, so I think I'm gonna stick with that. But I don't know if I 100% can, like, with conviction say Miami's going to win that game and then end up in the right bracket. I feel like
It's
because everybody feels like this, they're going to lose that game, end up in that AFC bracket. and then all hell's gonna break loose.
And I get what you mean because Philly's always a weird team to me because a lot of their shit isn't stuff they're like just doing to beat the Heat. It's kind of them niggas just made shots. Like it's talent. Like if Tyrese and Embiid are on, you can't keep up. But there's like Tyrese is liable to go 4 of 20, and Embiid against Bam on a bad knee is liable to go 4 of 20. But the inverse is also true. And then they have and then Kelly Oubre is a dude who can randomly have a 25 to 30 point game. So this game is not even to me I think in a series, it looks different because, you get used to them. In one game, they just it's whoever is hot that game for what I feel like. I think that they're about even right now.
That's my worry about
Bam
all of these playing games. That's my worry about Miami's playing.
We can't lose. Philadelphia can lose, I think, and be fine because whatever team they match up against, they have no one to stop Embiid on any of those rosters, even hurt. Miami, we've seen what happens when we play the Hawks and the Bulls. We can't. Well, we probably will. But if Miami's in a one-game series against those teams, the Hawks could run us off the court.
Correct. Most of the games we play with the Hawks are usually really close going into the fourth quarter. Donato, my boy, you got to appear on the stage. Want to hear your thoughts about kind of where Miami landed and how you're looking at this play-in game against Philly.
Yeah, I want to get in on the Tyler Hero thing real quick.
Okay.
I find it hard to believe that regardless of what happens this postseason will change their opinion on him. Because, for example, or I'll say I think it's more related to who's available, right? Because we obviously know there's a lot of Heat fans that are mad they went on this run last year because they have this notion that it tricked the front office, right? But the main piece that we was all talking about wanting to trade was Tyler Hero, who had literally zero contribution to last year's playoff run. So I don't think it was the front office being tricked into saying, oh, let's run it back. I think it's other GMs saying we don't want Tyler Hero because he's ass. So I think it has more to do with what other teams want and what else is available.
So with the Tyler Hero thing, it's not about how Miami views him. It's more so them looking at their cap. They're looking at the books and they realize that they can't keep him and Terry Rozier on the roster next year. It doesn't make sense for them to go or to carry them both into next year and then deal with the tax implications of it. And I don't think that they're going to trade Terry because they just gave up a first-round pick to get him. That to me is what why Tyler Hero is most likely to be moved. And he's going to be moved on pennies on the dollar based off of what we originally thought he could have been moved for. I don't anticipate unless we can get him over there to Cleveland for Donovan Mitchell to make some money. But I just feel like if you move Tyler Hero this summer, it won't be for anything dramatic. It'll be for tertiary pieces.
And that's the problem. That's why I said when people think it's not even a shot at Jimmy when I say if you move Hero for what people are saying ancillary pieces, just move Jimmy now and start the rebuild because he's 35 at this point. He can't unless you're getting someone to help fix the offense in quotations, which means just get Kyrie Irving who can just cover it up by dropping 30 a night. Then what you're doing is, as they said, you're just shuffling the tables on the Titanic. You're not really doing anything. You're really just running it back again, except now we're going to try a full team of just role players and Jimmy, and we're just older, which just means we're just going to waste another season and put everything on Bam again.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to trade Tyler Hero for maybe two worse players. This is all assuming that the Donovan Mitchell thing doesn't go down. But they're going to trade Tyler Hero for probably two worse players who can play on both sides of the ball.
Well, yeah, I'm still not opposed to Tyler for Dorian Finney-Smith and Claxton. I was down for that this year.
I think that's I'm
just throwing out names, but Finney-Smith, I think a lot of Heat fans and whoever the hell else they got now.
Jaden Ivey is if you're going to get, I would say Jaden Ivey. You have to get someone young because the Pistons need a shooter. That's the their biggest problem. They have nobody who can play with like Cade in the backcourt. It's just other Cade variants. You can go get Jaden Ivey cheap, and like if you're good at negotiating, probably get something else out of it. But
Why would the Pistons do that? Just because he's a better shooter, you think?
Because the Pistons want to accelerate kind of like their timeline with Cade, so they want to start getting better now.
They got a lot of guards though. That's my thing.
Yeah,
I feel like they'd want to go in a direction other than guard though.
No, the problem is like you get Tyler Hero's contract in and of itself isn't horrific. Like it's cool, and it's cool on a team like Detroit. Like he can be their highest paid player for a while until Cade gets his contract. Like, and so you can put him over there, and he's a better backcourt fit next to Cade than Jaden Ivey is. So they could feasibly, like theoretically, they could trade Jaden Ivey for a Tyler Hero, and you can get something else out of Detroit, and that's a better fit next to Cade Cunningham than Jaden Ivey is. And Miami would get back a young, ascending talent that's automatically you can pencil him in as a starter for this team. That feels like a mutually beneficial deal. Like a framework for a mutually beneficial deal. What is it? Hold on. Somebody said Caleb is going after this season too. If he's not taking a discount. I think if Caleb is going after this season, I don't think we should be talking about discount. Like I don't think we should be looking at this like if Caleb doesn't take a discount, he should be gone. I think we should look at this like Caleb should have been gone at the trade deadline if Miami is not re-signing him at the end of this season.
Haywood was his replacement. That's why they were grouping up Haywood. Haywood is the replacement for Caleb.
Right. And Caleb should have been gone. Then you just play Haywood. You live in that. Right. And so now you if you look at it like, oh, if he doesn't take a discount, then he should be gone, then you're essentially saying that you're okay with losing an asset for nothing. Because that's what's going to happen.
I'll push back on that a little bit because whether what we believe or not, I don't think anyone wants to waste a season at Jimmy Butler's age. So theoretically, let's say the Heat think they have a chance to win it all this year. They probably want to keep Caleb to help that. But at the same time, maybe you could do a sign and trade in the offseason like they did with Max Strus because they didn't end up losing him for nothing. But after the trade deadline last year, we were pretty mad thinking that was going to be the case, and it ended up not being. So I wouldn't jump that far.
We end up losing Gabe for nothing.
No, I understand that. But maybe we can get I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we lose Caleb for nothing. There's still the possibility that one, he has a nice playoffs like last year. The team can go on a deep run. We'll see what happens. It'd be a miracle to win it all, but we'll see what happens. And then best case scenario, we can do a sign and trade in the offseason and not lose him for nothing.
I don't think that's what's happening. Caleb Martin has a player option for next year. That's the reason why we're going to lose him for nothing. They're not gonna it's not a sign and trade. Another team can't sign him.
It could. He could opt out.
I just don't like how they talk about him too. You can't say you have all this depth and then you won't trade Caleb Martin. If you have depth, one of the benefits is you drafted Jaime. You said he's NBA ready. You have Haywood. You have a bunch of people who can play the Haywood role. It's not about he's not Haywood. Caleb Martin's not a good enough player to not capitalize on his value when you have, supposedly from what you're saying, replacements for him already ready.
And what is the incentive for another team to do a sign and trade with Miami?
Just to make the money work. Same with Max Strus.
No, they don't have to make the money work. If Caleb Martin declines his player option, Caleb Martin is a free agent. He can sign with whoever he wants for nothing.
If that team that he wants to go to or that wants him doesn't have enough money, and they need to send out money, that's what I'm saying.
He's going to sign somewhere else.
This is what I'm saying. He's going to sign with whoever can afford to pay him the most. He wouldn't sign with a team I don't anticipate him going to a team like Golden State, who's well over the salary cap. I don't anticipate Caleb Martin going over there.
Well, see,
it's not a situation where it's on trade. If he's the only reason Caleb Martin's not staying in Miami is because he wants to get paid more money. There is no incentive to sign and trade him for another team if he can just opt out and become a free agent.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I think the most likely scenario is you lose him for nothing. So I do agree with that, but I just think it could be a possibility because I don't think that he can convince a bad team that if he has a bigger role, he can be the guy. I think at this point, most teams look at him as kind of that last piece that can maybe put a contender over the top. And most of those teams are pretty high in the salary cap. So if they absolutely thought Caleb Martin was the last piece that could put them over the top, well, now maybe they have to do a sign and trade to send out some of their younger contracts or such to make it work.
So here's where we differ. I don't think any team thinks Caleb Martin is the last piece to put them over the top. I don't think there's no team close to contention where it'd be like, if we only got Caleb Martin, it'll have to be some team that can afford to take on Caleb Martin. Like, okay, sign and trade scenario, maybe OKC.
Memphis, you can see him in Memphis.
Maybe Memphis. Like, I can see those as sign and trade scenarios.
I like those.
Like, I don't think that they're desperate enough to, like, they don't feel like they have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to overpay for Caleb Martin. And so they won't. Like,
that's the funny thing. That's why it kind of feels like the Heat don't have a lot of options in the offseason this year unless you actually commit to the Donovan Mitchell thing and he does you have to hope that Donovan Mitchell does like what Dame did last year and you don't fumble it again. It's like all your moves on the board, they're kind of gone. Unless you make something out of nothing. Because I don't see what they can do if Jimmy Butler is still not – like if we see playoff Jimmy, like he's just good. Your moves are on the board are basically gone for like building a true contender. Not saying you can't build a really, really good team, but like building a true contender may be gone.
I think they're definitely gone. like your own, like Jimmy becomes your best. Jimmy's probably your best trade asset now, but they're not going to trade Jimmy.
Yeah, it's like Duncan. I would say Duncan, Jimmy, Hero, Jaime. They can, but they're not going to trade. If you trade Jimmy, suddenly the value you can get for other things because of how your team dynamic shifts makes more sense. So you don't have to get back players for Tyler. You can just go somewhere and convince a team you need a shooting guard on blah blah. Give us a pick, a protected pick. We'll send them over there and Duncan the same thing. But if Jimmy's on the roster, you can't just go out there and trade for picks. You have to trade for something that helps you win now.
Yeah, you have to trade for what can help. I don't know, bro. I just don't think. But I think like you said, they've kind of boxed themselves in with the current lack of assets, I would say. But they kind of boxed themselves in the sense of you can't really go after these high-end players anymore because you've kind of held on to the Tyler Hero specifically. You've held on to him longer than you should have to try and get those assets. And if you're not going to trade Jimmy, then there's no other move that you can make that could even remotely satisfy what you need outside of the Donovan Mitchell thing. But even that's just a long shot, bro. But this situation is a little bit different than Dame's because of Donovan Mitchell's player option or whatever. That shit makes it more difficult than it did then. They can't just send him anywhere. If he says only Miami, then that makes it a greater chance. Either way, circling the back around to this playoff thing. Ricky, I know we talked about how the play-in could potentially end versus Philadelphia. Have your feelings changed any since we did the post-game show? Do you feel like Miami has more or less of a chance to be the 7th seed than they do of potentially losing this first game and, kind of fighting for the chance to play Boston?
Yeah, I think that's what's so annoying about this team. They have the potential to make it all the way to the finals and get gentlemanly swept again. But at the same time, they also have the potential to become a lottery team. I think what's likely to happen is somewhere in the middle where they probably beat Philly tonight, though I'm reminded of the last time they went to Philly and Kyle Lowry apparently had a grudge still and they found a way to lose. So I don't know. You know what it is? I think honestly, the Heat culture in me or the Heat culture in that team kind of wants another shot at the Knicks because I feel like despite even Boston will always be there waiting for them if they get as far as they need to get. But it's I feel like they might actually want the Knicks again. I think Riley wants to live out another opportunity to beat a team that had his number after he left. So That's probably what's going to happen, though.
So I think playing the Knicks is only a motivating factor in the sense that we believe that we're going to kill them in a playoff series. Not in the sense like we have anything to prove to the Knicks. I think in that regard, the Knicks want the Heat to win more so than anybody else because they feel like they can beat Miami now.
Oh, they
because
look, they don't care about Miami. They don't care about Miami. I know it might seem like that way on the timeline. They're not worried about Miami. In the sense that, like, oh, they're a big bad team.
No, sure. I'm not saying they're worried about Miami, but I'm saying like the motivation to play that team would be more so on the sense, like it'll be more New York that will want the matchup for revenge or anything like that than Miami. Miami will want the matchup because they feel like that's the easiest route to getting where they want to go, which is to the Eastern Conference Finals and beyond. Is that Terrell Harris that you changed your profile picture to?
Big 14.
That's nasty work.
That's a champion. That's an
Oh,
NBA
I
champion.
love Terrell Harris, man. I love that dude. He was a
That is
sniper,
nasty.
bro.
Bro.
Y'all remember what happened to him, though, right?
No, I don't.
He got banned for life for like steroids. He went to the Pelicans after the Heat. I love that man, though.
Brother, steroids did not work. Dolphin, my guy, how are you today?
You got that bad batch.
I'm good. You caught me. I was trying to switch my profile picture to Jarvis Varnado before you called me.
Nah, Yakuba Diawara is also goated in Heat territories around here. Huh?
Pepperdine God.
Oh man, cut it out. Tell me how you feeling about the play-in scenario. Do you think Miami gets in to the playoffs?
No, to be honest with you, dude, I mean, I think everything is kind of shaping up to be what the majority of Heat fans, whether they pretend to or don't want to, like, they will probably play the Celtics. Like, obviously, it's not like this is fucking rocket science, but they'll probably lose to Philly, probably come out to a hot start, but then push come to shove, lose to Philly, play the winner of Atlanta, Chicago, beat that team, and then play Boston in the first. And look, man, like, I can continue with the false bravado as much as I want to, but I don't get paid by the fucking team. So I'll just tell it like it is. I just don't think they can beat this. This year is not last year. They haven't given me anything, not just against the Celtics, but all of the title contending teams that they played against this year. They haven't shown me anything to justify, when push comes to shove in a 4-game series, they could probably take 4 games. I mean, everything about this team is entirely different from last year, all the way down to the fourth quarter execution. This was one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the league this year. At least last year, the abundance of fourth quarter games that they played allowed them to be in a situation where they played against Boston or they played against Milwaukee and they were down by like 10 plus points, 16 plus points entering the fourth quarter. This wasn't unknown territory to these guys. And while they probably didn't have the talent advantage over a team like Milwaukee or Boston, they had the mental advantage of like we're not mental midgets. Like, we've been here before. We had done this a million times this season. And I'm inclined to believe eventually, like, if Boston is going to shed the mental midget label, it has to be now. And what better than to do it against the team that's continuously made you look like midgets for years now? But long story short, I'll just be frank, dude. Like, between the two of them, obviously, I'd say Miami has more of a puncher's chance playing against New York. So I'm fucking hoping against hope that you get one semblance of playoff Jimmy for one night and one night only, like fucking Elvis at his last show or some shit, like against Philadelphia. I just need Jimmy to just do it one time, bro, because I think you've got a better chance against New York against Boston than compared to Boston, which obviously I'm not stating anything that's too controversial here.
Yeah. So your Boston point,
These
like, about them
commercials, he
being,
better.
oh, brother, with that Slam article, I better see something. But to your point about the like mental midgets thing and Boston trying to shed that label, like, don't you think that also works the other way? Like, whereas, like, not only like this is their opportunity to prove it that they are not mental midgets, but it's also their chance to like do it again. Like, I think that's kind of been the argument that me and Kendall have been making again about like potentially wanting to play Boston in the first round. Like, yeah, if we have to get into that situation, the one advantage that Miami has in this scenario is that Boston is still in a position where they don't know if they've kind of overcome the Miami Heat hurdle thing. I get it, Justo. Celtics in 4. I feel foolish to pick against them, but like I'm just saying, like first round they haven't gotten their mojo yet. Go ahead, though.
No, I mean, and to that point, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I'll just say this briefly. Like it's almost very similar to when they played the Bucks in the bubble, and then they played the Bucks the year after. Like I wasn't on Heat Twitter at that point in time, but I'm sure there was a level of bravado in the sense of like, bro, mentally we've got these guys. He's gonna be a mental midget. He's gonna shit himself again, Giannis, and that. And he's like, no, that's not happening this year, not this time around. And they came in with the new addition of Drew Holiday and everything like that. And lo and fucking behold, another team that we're playing against that we kind of had the mental advantage on them. They're coming in with Drew Holiday again, obviously a few years older, and then Kristaps Porzingis. Like, I'm inclined to believe this won't be a situation where it's like we fucking own them again. I feel like between the two, it might be reminiscent of when you played the Bucks in the bubble and you had them, and this time around, so you play them the second year around. It's like we're not going to get fucking fooled again. Sorry.
Yeah, but we have to finish the story. We played the Bucks again last year and did it again. Like we had that. Like Boston beat us when we were the 1 seed. Boston did beat us, and then we beat their ass again last year.
We are not Cody Rhodes.
No, I get it.
I'm just not.
All I'm saying is,
sir.
All I'm saying is, bro. Yes, I do agree that like sometimes the talent does come and it wins out, and it's happened by both Milwaukee and Boston to the Miami Heat. But after both of those times, Miami has come back and beat their ass again. So like Miami is up in both of those kind of like matches, 2-1. Like, who are we to say that it won't be 3-1 by the time it's all said?
If they lose to us this year,
that's what I'm saying.
You want to talk about? Listen, what the Heat front office be puffing their chest out. If they win again this year, at some point you just gotta be like, "Hey, man, maybe they do know some black voodoo."
That's what I'm saying.
Like, Boston and the Bucks stacked everything, all-star potential at every position, and they still losing to a team that still can't get a starting lineup healthy. Like, come on, bro. You can't. Everybody gotta get fired.
If the Heat beat the Celtics this year, they're gonna have Royal at fucking point guard. Like, who's gonna fuck with us? Like, who's gonna fuck with? We've done you guys again. We're not even. Come on, we started the season without even completing our fucking roster. We really don't fucking. You don't fuck with us. Like, and I mean, look, I'll say this much, dude. On the topic of the mental advantage, I don't know if it was like Gilbert Arenas who said some shit like, or I think it might have been Iguodala. I forget between the two. He's like, where the Heat are basically the same way that the Bulls, like the Pistons were to the Bulls in the Michael Jordan era. It's like, this is Jason Tatum's Pistons. And eventually you have to fucking take that leap. But I will say this, though. If they play Boston in the first round and Miami steals game 1, all fucking bets are off what happens next.
And that's the point, bro. It's not about like Miami being a better team. Like, I'm with everybody. I feel like if we played at Boston in the 7-game series, Boston's going to wipe the floor at Miami. But, and I'm not even, y'all know I'm not one of the, like the optimists of the like sunshine. But I have to acknowledge the fact that if Miami goes into Boston in round 1, Boston hasn't done anything in these playoffs yet to like, I feel like them gaining momentum and gaining confidence through 2 rounds of the playoffs, if Miami meets Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, Boston's going to stomp them. If Miami meets Boston first, then they're starting the playoffs against a team who they may be confident, but I don't know if they're sure that they can beat Miami in Spo. Like, I just don't know, bro. Like, I'd have to see it. That's something that I have to see to believe.
You know something that sticks with me from 2021 is we all remember like the Heat getting killed, obviously Bryn Forbes sweep, but that first game went to overtime. Jimmy Butler hit a game-tying shot to send it to overtime, and then they obviously ended up losing. At that time, I was very mad because I felt like that was such a swing game. Because what happened the year before, we had the mental advantage. And if we went into that first game and won, to this day, I truly believe that series could have played differently. Just because it would have been in the Bucks' head, and I'm not sure if that's something they recovered with. But
yeah, we
once
lost in 5 instead of 4.
We never know.
Exactly.
But look what happened after the Bucks won that first game. They had got over that mental disadvantage, and then they blew us out. So I do think could see something similar with Boston, which, like he was saying, if we get that first game, then there's no holding us back now.
I don't know about
The
that, to be
the
honest
Heat
with
are
you. And
trolls.
I think
Bro.
we're kind of overstating this just a little bit because what was that in 2020? The Bucks lost to the Heat. It's not like it was happening for like 6 years and then the Bucks overcame them or something like that. They just got their get back after a weird bubble season. I don't want to put too much romance onto that particular storyline because they just won. They were better and they freaked out. I don't know if this was like some sort of. I don't know if this was like the sequel to Rudy or anything. I don't know about that.
That's
I think there's something
they're
to the
better
Heat
last year.
getting mental advantage on teams because, like, even in the New York series last year, I think the Heat got the advantage when they went out there with the literal G League squad and was
And
like,
won.
well, I think they lost they lost in the last minute, I guess. But it was like the Heat kind of do stuff and they put doubt in other teams' minds and then like feast upon the doubt, and then the team plays into the other team plays into that. That's how they be making these teams play dumb. They're like, oh, you guys are really scared of losing to us, and we don't really care. Like Jimmy was out there like, I don't care if I'm talking shit. Like, it won't matter to me. Like, I'm not a big player. Even the Heat team may be mad at me, but I'll just go sell coffee. I can talk all the shit I want. But you, Jason Tatum, if you lose to me, it's embarrassing.
See, that's the thing, bro. Losing to Miami 2 years in a row when they've been in this situation would be embarrassing. And that added layer is like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I believe that Boston are mental midgets. Like, I believe they need like the road paved for them in a certain way. Not necessarily like they're a talented team, so they don't necessarily need anything handed to them. But I don't think that they can put up with too much adversity and still come out like victorious.
You know what's crazy too?
Mm.
That I was just looking it up, and this is just a stat that just literally made my heart sink into my ass. I looked at that 2021
Hey, yo.
round one. We hit 23s. The Bucks hit 5 out of 31, and they still won that game one against Miami. I don't even know what to say about that. That was such like an
Blame the jerseys.
Game that you're like, yeah, you should win that game. We couldn't even win the aberration game.
Blame the jerseys. It was the
somebody
jerseys.
somebody in YouTube come and said they got us losing to Philly and then losing to either Atlanta or Chicago. Like, I can't even really argue with you because Miami in one game scenarios, bro, like that is kind of like that's the beauty and the curse of this play-in tournament because a team like Miami is very much so capable of losing to Philly and then also losing to either Atlanta or Chicago. It can 100% happen, bro. And I'm not eliminating that as a kind of like possibility. But I need to because I need to keep doing playbacks and make a little money off of this playoff run. So I mean, let's hope that they do something in there.
Kind of like Mickey Arison in that regard.
Come on now, you feel me? That's what we gotta have topics to talk about. So let's do a little rundown of the other playoff scenario, the other playoff teams. We did this a little bit on the post game show, but we didn't have all y'all to talk to about it. Boston, not Boston, but Milwaukee. And who's Milwaukee playing in this first? Indy. I feel like there is an upset brewing there. Like, and it's going to be marvelous to see how things play out. I'll start with you to start, Dolphin. Dolphin, are you of the same mindset that the Pacers could potentially like upset Milwaukee and like shake some shit up in that regard?
You know what's so funny? Like this feels like in every sport, there's always like the sexy, like especially like March Madness type shit. There's like the sexy upset pick, and then it
Yeah.
proves, oh, I can't believe we thought that was the upset pick. Everyone keeps zigging and they're saying Pacers and 6 and stuff like that. I honestly think it's all really incumbent on how the Pacers treat that first game one because it clearly doesn't look like Giannis is going to play that game one anyway. And if Milwaukee ends up winning that game, much like kind of like the 2021 series against the Heat, I think that's really going to set the tone. So I think Bucks in 7. I think eventually Giannis will come back game 3, 4-ish. I think Dame will hold down the fort. And I think that playoff experience is probably going to set them apart from Indy, but not for long, though. But I'll say Bucks in 7.
Okay. Chelsea?
I think unless Giannis comes back early, I think that the Bucks are probably cooked in this series because it's literally because if Giannis isn't there, the style that the Bucks have to play is not a style they can use to win against the Pacers because they're just playing what the Pacers do, but they can't keep up with the Pacers. Like the Damian Lillard long threes, they have someone who can counter that, and if he's missing, they have someone who can grab the ball and in transition they're screwed. So like this is just a bad matchup for them. They're not even a good team in the second half of the year. They just have two people who are talented. That's the only reason people believe in the Bucks is we assume that Damian Lillard and Giannis can carry enough to make them win. But in my eyes, like they're what? They were 30-13 at the All-Star break. They finished with 49 wins. They stink. They legitimately stink, and the Pacers are better than them. So it's not even an upset to me. It's just the Pacers are better. I think they're going to win in like 6 games.
Interesting.
I agree. I do. Listen, we talk about all this mental edge and stuff. That Bucks team is crumbling physically, mentally. We know they don't match up great with that team. The Pacers, the one thing they have against them is obviously they're very young, but their second best player, Pascal Siakam, championship experience. I like the way that team matches up, and especially if Giannis misses more than one game, I'll probably go Indiana in 6. I'll probably say the same thing.
Ricky, I already heard your takes on all these games, so I'm going to skip you and go to them about the rest of the games.
Pascal played on a championship team. He's not suddenly some wise man because he won a ring.
Yeah, but they can't guard him on goddamn. They can't guard him over there.
You are
Leave it to
absolutely
Ricky to call
correct.
the Africans stupid.
But who's the other one? Oh, Orlando in the Cavs in this mud fight. Dolphin, how are you looking at that series?
I'm not looking at that series. I won't be. It's in the. No, I mean, obviously for agenda-driven purposes, I would love nothing more than a Magic gentleman sweep of Cleveland. But I think Orlando, it's I hate it. I fucking hate it. I really do because the basketball gods, I do believe they will punish what they just did right there. But I think their payment will come in full. I think Orlando is just. It's Sacramento last year, dog. Like, it was a good regular season. You really exceeded expectations. This ain't your time just yet. I think Cleveland will probably win in 6.
Yeah, I was saying like Orlando getting where they are now is a victory. They like it is a success. You have in year 2 of the Paolo era, you have made the playoffs. To take solace in that and move it along. Chelsea, how you looking at that series, bro?
Oh, I'm watching this mostly. This hinges on Donovan Mitchell. He's had 2 straight playoffs where it's kind of been like, hey, brother, where you at? So if he has another one, first of all, it makes Cleveland start doubting him, which is great for my agenda because I need him out of there. But I think Cleveland will probably lose this in 6 because they don't have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. The lights too bright combo. Don't trust them. Darius Garland with Jalen Suggs on them. Don't trust them. And listen, those minutes that Jonathan Isaac's going to be playing on Donovan Mitchell is going to get real nasty out there.
I'm about to say, bro, like Orlando plays mud ball, bro. Like,
exactly. I said they're going to drag him to the mud. Like the little brother of Florida should. They're going to drag him into the mud. And it's going to be a bunch of like 98 to 102 games. And I think the Magic win those games.
Tell you, Chelsea, you are in for a rude awakening. Your worst fear is going to make you so upset. Max Strus is going to shoot 44%.
Please stop.
And they're going to win in 5, brother. Sorry.
If Max Strus do that, I will buy a Max Strus jersey.
Well, get ready to learn NBA.com merchandise, buddy. And looking at the Orlando and Cleveland series, bro.
Yeah, I think both teams are probably talent-wise, probably pretty similar. That's why I give the edge to Cleveland. I mean, it's an exact opposite of what we saw last year. Cleveland went against the little bit more experienced team, and although they were probably more talented, they didn't have the experience and they lost. It's going to be the same thing this time. I think having that 1 year of short playoff experience, but still playoff experience under their belt will kind of be enough to push them over the edge. But if there was ever a team that could limit Donovan Mitchell, it would be the team that has Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Isaac and all those other towering bigs. But I'll probably say Cleveland is 6.
Mudball. This series is going to be like hard to watch for a lot of people. I think Miami Heat fans should watch this series, not only because of the Donovan Mitchell implications, but because Orlando is like they play the brand of basketball that Miami Heat fans like. They're better at Miami Heat basketball than Miami is this year. I can put it to you like that. So, like, if you want to watch like the version of basketball that you've grown up to love, watch this series and watch Orlando strap Cleveland's ass up for like all 6 of these games that it's going to take for Cleveland. Shut up, Ricky J. Mark. Let's talk about some of these Western Conference matchups because I haven't like really looked at it, haven't really talked about it, haven't really thought about any of them. So what's the Western Conference matchups look like? You got the Pelicans and the Lakers. LA's going to win that game. I think it's going to be really interesting to see like who comes out of the Western play-in. What 2 teams you got coming out of the Western play-in, Chelsea?
Warriors and Lakers.
Ricky,
Fat boy ain't making it again.
Ricky, what 2 teams you got coming out of there? I don't believe you.
I know that the NBA is leaning heavily on the Warriors and the Lakers, but it wouldn't shock me, quite frankly, if one of the two actually lost. Anthony Davis, I think, hurt his back. Something happened late in that game. I think it was last night, and I think that's going to be a problem. As soon as I saw that happen, it gave me flashbacks to 2021 when AD went down and they ended up losing to the Suns.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Pelicans, Lakers, Kings, Warriors. I don't think the Kings have it this year. They've regressed. So I have the Warriors probably winning that. But, all right, screw it. LeBron's going to go supernova in the play-in. He's not going to have to, he's not going to have to drag them through 2 games. He wins that, but the Warriors, I don't even know what I'm thinking. I'm completely distracted. Sorry. Whatever I said. I don't know what's going on. I'm hungry.
You never even got to the answer, but that's cool.
You're right.
A
You're right.
white woman just walked in front of Ricky's car.
Correct. Dolphin. Who you got
Your
coming
point.
Western Conference play-in?
I'm gonna keep it simple and easy. Lakers and Warriors. I just think purely for agenda-driven purposes. Again, I can't fathom Adam Silver taking the chance to get get LeBron and Steph in playoff modes. He just won't let it happen. He just can't let it happen.
If Steph beats this OKC team in the first round,
So listen. No, I don't think Golden State gets in. I think the Lakers and the Pelicans get in because one, I don't think Adam Silver wants Draymond Green in the NBA anymore. He wants to get him out of there, and they need to start pushing new guys outside of like LeBron and Steph. And so they're going to give Zion a chance to do something against goddamn, who is it, OKC? That they would play?
They would.
Because I think the Lakers get in at 7, and then they'll end up playing Denver. Ooh.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. And then I think the Pelicans lose that game, and then they beat the Warriors because I agree. Sacramento doesn't have it this year. I don't know. Ant, we didn't get to you. Who do you think coming out of the West?
Yeah,
Play
well,
it.
the 7th seed is easy for me. I never bet against LeBron. That's a personal no glazing. But that's just a personal rule that I made over a decade plus ago. But I'm with you too. I picked the Pelicans just because I think having 2 chances to win one, that's the biggest advantage of them all. Like I don't care if you got Steph Curry and the league wants you to win and all this, but that's the biggest advantage. You got 2 chances to win one. I think the Pelicans get it done. And I see the writing on the walls for the Warriors. One of those 3 guys is not going to be on that team next year,
It's
whether it's
Clay.
because Draymond's out the league or Clay gets, $100 million with Orlando, like we all hearing. That team's not going to be together. They had their little last hurrah with the championship a couple years ago, and I think that was it. I think they move into rebuild mode next year, and hey, maybe try to get Steph Curry one more ring with some other core, or maybe Curry leaves too, goes plays with LeBron somewhere. Who knows? But I think that team
Yeah.
is out.
Another big part of it is like Golden State has that heat syndrome. Like them winning 2 games in a row feels like it's going to be hard. Like it just feels tough. Like that shit is it's not the same.
Yeah.
Huh?
You know what's crazy? I think the last team, off the top of my head, the last team to lose both playing games that had an opportunity like to win and you're in, and then they lost both, I think was that 2020-2021 Warriors team. Funny enough, they lost to LeBron, and then they played Memphis, and everyone's like, all right, they got to beat Memphis, and they fucking lost to Memphis too.
You feel me?
Correct.
So, I feel like I feel like there's a chance that Golden State just could kind of like drop the ball, and that gives the Pelicans an opportunity. And I think the Pelicans are going to like probably flounder this opportunity. They're going to get in there, and unless they get the AFC, if they get the AFC and play against OKC, I ain't gonna lie, I got OKC. I can't. I got OKC in that series, even though I like New Orleans a lot. I do like New Orleans, and I want them to do okay. Who we got in the West? Like, what's the other? What are the
Putting
matchups
all
that
my
are?
money on Dallas. All my money on Dallas in that first round. I don't trust the
Uh,
Clippers. I think that team is the biggest frauds in the history of frauds.
okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
Clippers,
Thunder
Mavs.
versus 8, Nuggets versus 7, Wolves versus Suns, and Clippers versus Mavs.
Yeah, I see. So okay, so I agree with the overarching thing about the Mavs beating the Clippers. I think the Mavs are interesting this year, bro. Like I got a whole lot more faith in the Mavs than I would like to have. Like I feel like they're a team that could potentially like fuck some shit up and make it to the finals. But that being said, Kawhi Leonard is Luka Doncic's kryptonite, and I just don't see how they would. Oh shit, Justin Bless, bro. How long you been on stage? I know I let you up here a while ago. I didn't know if you had left. How are you, bro?
It was good. It was good.
I ain't chilling, bro. We talking about some of these playoff machinations, and we out here in the West right now. First of all, who you think gonna get out of the West play in?
The 2 teams that the NBA wants them to get out, I think it's pretty obvious. Like
Yeah,
the
no, we
teams
said the
that
Lakers and the Warriors that they wanted to get out of there, but I don't think the Warriors are gonna give them that.
listen, they had this boy. Um, he's kind of light skinned. And I'm not gonna count him out. Curry, we seen Curry do some fucking ridiculous things, and the things Curry be doing out there against who? The Pelicans. Like I like the Pelicans and Zion and Ingram, but between the league not allowing them, that you need the West and the power the league has. So that's strictly what I'm going off of for real.
Yeah, and we can
And I
probably get
don't
that into
think
next one. But
I don't think the Pelicans are that much better than the Warriors where we stamp that. You feel me?
yeah, like I
Talent
don't think they're that
wise.
much better. I think not talent wise. I just think the Warriors are like tough this year. I feel like they're in a similar position to Miami, where it's like their core is cooked. Like that build needs to die, and I like it feels like there's an exhaustion there, and I don't think that they. I just don't feel like they got it this year, bro. And I know like Steph could go off
But
at anyone. I just don't. It just don't feel like it's there, bro.
like you said, just like Miami, you can't count like you can't count them out. Like if you're gonna count them out, then okay, hold on. Before it's who's in 7 and 8?
In the West,
I
LA,
mean, yeah, in the West.
LA, New Orleans.
LA
LA and
versus
New
Pelicans.
Orleans. Yeah,
Okay, so we know who's gonna win there, and then it's
correct.
gonna be Warriors versus who's 9.
Sacramento.
Yeah, they're out of here. So it's definitely gonna be the Warriors, and then like you said, like the Heat, you can't count them out for real. Like you're gonna be doing yourself a disservice. And I personally counted the Heat out last year too, but shit, they gonna have to show me. Like you know how y'all say 50, they gonna have to show you now. Miami and Warriors, it's the opposite for me. Y'all gonna have to show me that y'all can't do it in order for me to finally officially turn my back for real. But I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And if they do make it past the first round, I mean the playing, I won't be surprised if they win the first round too. Like
Bro, listen, bro.
they
Thunder series is sweet for like. uh, So in a scenario where it's like either the Lakers or the Warriors aren't going to end up in there. Like let's say for instance the Lakers or the Warriors end up 8. I think either one of those teams can beat the Thunder. Both of them can beat the Thunder.
the Thunder
Uh,
is the Knicks of the West, right?
yeah, because well, yeah, essentially because the Nuggets are 2. He said, well, yeah, the Thunder are the Knicks of the West, bro. Where it's like they're the high seed that people should like probably want to play. Like nobody really wants to play the Nuggets except for the Lakers because they, for some reason, the Lakers played them very well. I don't know. Let's go back to this Mavs uh, Clipper series. I was saying it before, like I picked the Mavs to win that series, but like Kawhi tends to beat Luka a lot, and I don't know. Like Chelsea, bro, how you looking at that series?
Hey, Luca. Hey, you're about to kill them niggas. Hey, before you didn't have a running mate like Kyrie. It was easy then. Hey, let him get 40, buddy. Someone gonna have to guard Kyrie. And let me tell you, that boy's quad is going to fall off the bone like that turkey leg if he has to guard Luka and Kyrie on those switches.
That's tough, bro.
Mavs in 4.
4.
4.
This to me feels like a series that's going a minimum of 6 games. Dolphin, are you closer to Chelsea or closer to me? Like, you think it's gonna be a sweep?
Way closer to you, I'd have to say. I mean, this is the one game. It's got to be 7. This is going 7. This is probably the most exciting series of, I mean, at least on paper, in the first round. And I'm inclined to believe, it's Luka's time now. I mean, third time's the fucking charm, man. And if not now, I know it's crazy to say if not now, when for a 25-year-old player, but like, if not now, when, dude? Like the team around you, this is the best team that you've had around you in your career thus far. Obviously we'll give some grace to missing the playoffs last year with Kyrie and them because I guess you're just trying to get instituted and everything like that. But they're peaking at the right time, dude. Gafford and Lively, that's a fucking crazy front court over there. And honestly, and Lucas just, bro, for my money, he's the fucking MVP of the league this year. I mean, like, bro, like, if not now, when, dog? And like, inevitably, and I don't wish this on anybody, but like, inevitably, Kawhi is gonna miss at least one fucking game. So, like, dude, like, once again, if not now, when? And the Clippers, it's guilty till proven innocent to me, man. I'm sorry. Like, I will never believe them till I fucking see them holding the Larry O'Brien, and it won't be this fucking year either. So, Mavs in 7.
Ricky, how you looking at this series?
Are you talking about the Mavs one?
Yeah, Mavs and Clippers.
Yeah, I'm with the idea that Kawhi Leonard he's probably not going to survive the series. I think the Clippers might actually squeak by. I feel like the Mavs have the Suns number, and in particular Devin Booker, not so much the Clippers, because if I remember correctly, it was the Clippers that sent the Mavs home a couple of years ago. I hope I'm not mixing my stuff up. But as much as the Mavs like to score, I think Kawhi has enough juice left in his knees to where he, Paul George, and some of those other guys will be able to mount a decent enough series lead to where when Kawhi inevitably does the go down, the rest of them can kind of just pick up the slack and keep going. Because the Mavs, they can't defend. They can score a lot, but they can't defend. And how do we know that Kyrie Irving isn't going to get hurt himself? Because this is also another guy who's known for missing a ton of games. He's missed maybe 40% of his career already, if not more. So I mean, it could go either way, but I've got my money on the Clippers.
Let's not disrespect what the Mavs did at the trade deadline. Like since they added P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford, like that defense has been better.
Yawn.
Like I'm sorry, but that moves the needle for a team like them when you have that type of offensive firepower.
Apology accepted, King.
I didn't apologize, and I will not. So, like,
sorry though. You said sorry.
I take it back. Then, how about that? But like,
too late. It's already received and accepted. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on because I didn't apologize to shit. Ed, how you looking at this? How you looking at this Mavs series? All right, fuck that. Then. Kendall, how you feeling about the Mavs Clippers?
I feel indifferent. I mean, because we got Terry Rozier, they got Kyrie Irving, so I don't know, though. At the end of the day, like, the Clippers always find a way to win. I do think it's going to come down to, like, Russell Westbrook, Harden versus, like, what's his dude's name? Tim Hardaway Jr. and, like, the role players. I think this is, like, a role player series, funny enough, because I think, like, while, like, Luka's going to be Luka, like, Kawhi's going to be Kawhi. Paul George may be up and down. Kyrie. I think, the Clippers have, I guess, the personnel to make things hard on Kyrie, and that's what I would try to do. But I trust him more than Paul George, obviously. But I think it's going to be more of a role player series. It's going to be like whose role players played better. I think that's what it's going to come down to. And that's who's going to win. And I'm just going to lean with the Clippers because they have they have a real black coach, not a Mike McDaniel, Jason Kidd type black coach. And I trust Ty Lue because he's won a championship. So I'll go with the Clippers and I'll go 6, not even 7.
Okay. I didn't think about it like that. Like I guess I kind of think about it like in terms of everybody else, where it was just like, yeah, this is Luka's year to kind of like get over the hump, and I'm not really looking at his kind of adversaries in any regard. So I'm not looking at it in terms of like the way that they match up versus the Clippers, and how yes, this game will be won on the edges with the role players. And if we're looking at role players, I still like Dallas's.
Norm Powell moved me.
Maybe not player for player, bro. I just feel like the way Dallas's role players complement their stars, it feels more like in sync than it does with the way the Clippers role players fit their stars. If that makes any kind of sense.
Because the ball always in Luka's hand.
That's also true. But the Clippers got the original Luka over there too. So what you want to say, Dom?
Ultimately, when push comes to shove, the one thing that scares me about going all the way and saying Mavs in 7, it's the coaching. It's the coaching discrepancy, man. It's Ty Lue versus Jason Kidd, and that scares the shit out of me, bro. That's the one thing that makes me be like, I don't know, but I have to believe that I think the talent of Luka eventually trumps the idiocy of J Kidd, but I could be fucking wrong.
J Kidd is mid as a coach. Like, I don't think he's a bad coach, but I know he's not a good coach. Like, I don't know if that makes sense though. Like, he might be bad. I don't think so. I just know he's not good. He's just coaching, if that makes any sense. D Master V, how are you doing today, bro?
Yeah, I'm all right. I didn't get to see the Toronto game because I was working, but it went as expected, man. Like the whole play-in scenario, oh, if we win and these teams lose. No, you had your chance to do that all year. As soon as I saw the Indiana score, I was like, yeah, none of the other teams are following suit, bro. They're all gonna win. They're all gonna win, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, we won, but it was all for naught.
What was pretty nasty was like kind of what you're talking about. When I saw Heat fans blaming other teams for Miami's position, like I was like, "You guys are pussy." Go ahead. Like, what do you? We talking about this Mavs series right now. How do you feel like the
Yeah,
Mavs Clippers can come out?
honestly, I think the biggest X factor in this series, and people have been shitting on him all year, is Russell Westbrook. Because if Russell Westbrook plays to the level that he was playing last year against the Suns in the first round, I think the Clippers win. However, if both Luka and Kyrie somehow figure it out and then just start shooting lights out together, yeah, it's definitely the Mavs. But I don't see that happening. So I got the Clippers really, but it comes down to Russell Westbrook off the bench.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. That your turn, my turn that they do in Dallas still moves me, bro. Because like they both of them can't. It works no matter who turn it is. It's mostly Luka turn. No, it's not. But I'm just saying when Kyrie get his turn, like he's so good. Like it's not even like I don't know. I don't feel like the drop off is there. Like, so, but I agree with your Russell Westbrook point. Like I didn't think about him when I was thinking about the series, but he's extremely important because he did play well in the playoffs last year, and he does have kind of game changing. I don't want to use the word aura, but I can't think of another word to put in its place. Like he has game
It's
changing
it's
energy.
it's legit. It's competitiveness, like because even after Kawhi went down in game one, like game two and I believe game five was still close, and that was mainly because of Russ. Well, everyone was hitting shots, but like yeah, it was just his energy that was bringing. So the determination to not let them lose just because Kawhi's out.
You know what I'm saying? Like he plays with a certain intensity that like even if it don't look the same or it's not as good on the court, he plays with a certain intensity that the rest of the team just kind of follows that, and it does move the needle for them in many ways. What was the other matchup in the West? I'm not gonna lie, I need to get up out here and do some work in like the next
Suns,
15
Timberwolves.
minutes. Timberwolves and the Suns. I Kendall,
Wolf.
my boy.
I'm gonna just go with. I have no choice but to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You gotta go to the young bull.
I gotta go with my dog. Like he is a killer. And they play defense. And that fourth quarter thing, I think is real for the Suns. And KD is on. I think KD out of anybody in the league, bro. Like I don't care. Like he on pack watch for me. Like he got the most pressure. Like, bro, he is too nice, bro. Like KD just too fucking nice to not like, bro. Y'all know KD has played 13 minutes in the conference finals or NBA finals since he turned 30. He's on watch, bro. But I'm going with the Timberwolves because they play defense and they have their pecking order. And I don't know, bro. I just don't like the Suns overall.
Their team is built so wild. Like it's crazy the way that their team is built,
Oh,
and
and
they
also,
have
bro,
like what's
before you go, they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. So
up? Yeah, that should play out in this series, which would be hilarious. Dolphin, how you looking at that series, bro?
I'm gonna say the total opposite. Dog, I got the Suns in 6. I have to say because the Timberwolves, for whatever fucking reason, the Suns are their bogey team. They haven't beaten them all year, like, and they've beaten the shit, and the Suns have beaten the shit out of them every time. It's just some teams. There's like a fucking mental. We keep talking about mental blocks this entire spaces, but like they, for some reason, Minnesota just has a mental block on them. I mean, put it in perspective. Like yesterday, like bro, that was like a win, and you got the 1 seed moment, and Anthony Edwards just completely just looked absent. Like you just completely fucking absent out there. And I think a huge factor in why I'm gonna say the Suns are gonna win, Bradley Beal, like, don't look now, but like Bradley Beal since the month of April has actually been really ramping it up. Like, he's looked really fucking good. He's looked like the type of player. It's hard to justify the amount of money that he gets paid, but it looks like he's finally turned a corner in that sense. So I'm gonna have to say Suns in 6.
That's interesting. Chelsea?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll go with the Suns because I believe in players. Certain players need to are going to learn hard lessons in their career. And listen, I love Ant. But being the number one on the team with that shot selection, brother, you're going to have to learn a hard lesson.
Hey,
You
hold
going
on,
up?
y'all. So, wait, y'all, is Karl Anthony Towns playing? Is he back yet?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
playing.
think he's going to be playing. Yeah,
Oh, he's back on. Oh, never mind. Someone
got to cut KD.
Suns and 4. Never mind.
White boy.
White boy.
Doc is no draws.
Come on now.
But yeah, no, it's just I think that certain people just got to learn hard lessons. This is going to be I think this is the year where Ant, like, the frustration makes him like evolve his game next year, but he gonna have to deal with that. Plus, like, bro, like Cat out there with Rudy Gobert and KD and Devin Booker running dribble handoff, brother, they're gonna be cooked. Like, that defense only matters so much if them niggas hitting shots. Like, it is what it is. It's like, yeah, I have a great, like, as you said, you have Jason McDaniels, yeah, brother. He gonna learn who KD is today. It's time for the young bucks to learn.
Hey, I seen KD against Aaron Gordon, brother. And, oof, it looked tough out there. I see him against Tony Allen, big dog. So that's why I'm saying KD got to show me something, bro. Because if we didn't see him like get handled against people that shouldn't be handling him.
So look, I'm a KD stan. So like the part of me listening to Kendall say he got the most to prove, the KD stan in me won't allow that. I think Luka is the player with the most to prove in these playoffs. But like real shit, KD has to stand up, bro. Like in these playoffs, he has to, bro, because it's getting louder, and pretty soon, like, he ain't gonna be able to avoid the allegations. Just how you looking at that Timberwolves versus Phoenix series? Just the bless.
Yo, Roy, real quick.
Go ahead.
Y'all don't hear me?
It's up.
No, Dolphin called you pussy.
Devin Booker played Anthony Edwards in 12 regular season games. Devin Booker has beat Anthony Edwards 11 times to 1. And he's outscored him by over 7+ points. I don't know.
And you better get him back. There's
a little bit of stage rage. I think you want to talk about white boy? There's a little bit of stage rage. You can't let this happen.
Hey, brother. Devin Booker, bro. Like, if he's hitting, because I've seen that boy go crazy in the playoff one time before. Like, if he's on a run, if he's on one of them runs, brother, it could get dangerous. Just, bro,
Devin
go ahead.
Booker, he on watch too. He on watch too now.
Nah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say with the whole Clippers shit though, because y'all you skip me with that shit too. Fuck nigga. But with the Clips, right, they gonna win. Like, I heard some of y'all, no, Luka, Kyrie, nah. But to what you asked me, yeah, the Suns, because the Timberwolves got that center, and nobody's speaking about him yet. I'm surprised, but that nigga's a bitch in the playoffs. Like, he can't play. They got two bitches up there. You feel me? And you know what happens when you have two bitches, right? You gotta kill them. That's just simple, like on some OJ shit. You feel me? RIP to the GOAT. But
What?
yeah, it's just between Devin Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal. You feel me?
What?
Y'all know what's going to happen.
It was crazy.
KD gonna do what he does with his. You can't put the D on KD, and you got two bitches up there. So
Yo.
Pause
them two
that.
bitches gonna get killed.
Wait a minute, brother.
I
Okay.
wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah, I'll take bits and pieces of what you said. Like, okay, I agree with the point that Rudy Gobert Phoenix is actually one of the teams that has the personnel to be able to play Rudy Gobert off of the floor, which will be a huge disadvantage for Minnesota. So I agree with you there. Karl Anthony Towns is another one who can be played off of the court, and I don't think Minnesota can match up with them. To Charles Sue's point, Anthony Edwards' shot selection, brother, like, I've accepted it because he's ultra talented. But Anthony Edwards' shot selection is definitely going to be something that they need to kind of monitor, or we need to be watching. Like, just kind of like, where's his maturation going to come from in that
If you
regards?
wanted to see Tyler Hero with talent, you want to talk Tyler Hero with melanated talent?
You guys
And
wanted
Anthony,
2012.
that's Anthony Edwards.
That's nasty work.
Got it. That's your wish.
Hey, that brother be doing the stupidest shit, but he can jump 45 inches in the air. And that shit be working out.
He got a bank shot like Tim Duncan out here, bro. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah. 45 inches, Anthony Edwards.
Huh?
Just what you got going on today, bro? Like, are you at work, bro? Like, where's
I'm saying he's athletic. That's what I'm saying. Like,
where's your HR
but
right now?
it's like it's 3 versus 1.
All right, bro.
Oh.
Hey, bro. D Master V, bro. Please bring this back to
That's
basketball.
a crazy name. That's
It
a
is,
crazy
bro.
name, by the way.
It is, bro, and it was a bad choice to go to him after you, but I don't know. I already threw it out there. But go ahead, bro. Talk to me about this series.
Wait, so I gotta follow that up, really?
The Minnesota versus Phoenix series.
Jeez. I actually want Minnesota to win, but given their playoff history, I just see them flaming out, man. Like Cat especially, man. He's Minnesota's Julius Randle. That's enough said. Right. And I don't think this is good. I don't think this is gonna break Anthony Edwards, but it might piss him off a little bit. It might. Because Cat missed the last, what was it, 5 or 6 games before he came back.
Uh-huh.
And then they were struggling then. And if he doesn't show up in the postseason, it's just like, oh my God, man. Like, how long has Cat been with Minnesota now? Because they made him their focal point, and they haven't done shit. And it was literally only till Ant came that they actually became something again. Yeah,
well, I mean, he was the number 1 pick in 2015.
So 8 years. Yeah.
All right, he was drafted in 2015, right?
Yeah.
So since then, I don't know. I'm not a Karl Anthony Towns guy. I don't fuck with him or his game. I'm about to wrap this up, brother. Go ahead and finish doing my job. So final thoughts before we go ahead and get up out of here. We'll start with you, Chasu.
Except reality.
My bad, Indigo, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't announce these, bro. I just do them. Like, whenever I find like a few minutes, I just start a playback, bro. I'm sorry. I'll get better about announcing them, I guess. I'm like planning them one of these days, but not today. Dolphin.
My final thoughts are Pepa y agua para la seca, todo el mundo empatía en la discoteca. That's all I have to say, man. Get ready. Get ready for a lot of T-shirts. Get ready for a lot of towels. Well, don't get ready for a lot of
T-shirts.
Get ready for a lot of towels. Collect them all. Have a good time. And we're about to do it again.
Listen, brother, I still have commemorative towels from Game 3 of the finals. But Indigo, just to let you know, I'm glad that you said that. Like, if you want to watch this, then you can go back and watch the replay on the YouTube channel. I'm going live from like YouTube and here at the same time. So go watch the replay on the YouTube channel after we're done, so you can hear the whole conversation. Also, during the play-in games / playoff games, depending however far Miami makes it in this postseason. Like, we're going to do playbacks live during the game in addition to the post-game shows live on YouTube. So if y'all want to be in here, we can watch the game together. Y'all can get on stage. We can talk about it. But, yeah, we're going to be doing playbacks during games for the playoffs. So that should be exciting. Ricky, last thoughts.
It's Heat and 5. They're going to win the title. RJM Radio is now streaming on every podcast platform everywhere, so subscribe. And yeah, that's all I got. Heat and 5 or whatever.
Yeah, make sure y'all check out RJM Radio because we said so. That's a good enough reason for me. D Master V, go ahead, brother. Final thoughts.
Well, I guess the final thoughts are: if the Miami Heat somehow do it again this year, can we all collectively just agree that if Miami gets to the Eastern Conference Finals again, that the East is so weak, legit, like.
I don't know if we can agree that the East is weak. More so, like I don't really know how I should evaluate the way that I assess this team anymore. It's going to confuse me beyond all belief if they make another deep playoff run. Like it's going to confuse me, and I'm just not sure how I should assess the way that the front office moves anymore. Because it's not conventional, it doesn't make sense, and it wouldn't work for any other franchise, but it works for Miami. So does that make it good or does that make it bad? That's kind of where I would be. You know what I mean? More philosophical type questions. But I'm probably still gonna get on here and shit on the way that they move because it's dumb as fuck, and they should not do that. You should not rely on shit like this. Just the Bless. Final thoughts, brother.
My final thoughts. I have this feeling in my chest that what happened last year is a very real possibility again, and it's crazy. Like last year I was in the
Bro,
same
getting the Knicks in the first round of the playoffs?
Exactly. That happens, and not only the Knicks. Look at the potential second round.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
bro.
And like last year, I was in the same space as saying, yeah, Miami, they should lose the play-in. I was one of those niggas. Go get the lottery pick. But now I'm here, and my expectations are low. Like, listen, I live in New York, so the best thing my playoffs is beat the Knicks. That's all I want, and whatever happens after that is up to Lord. But outside of that, but I do think making the Eastern Conference Finals might happen again, and I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say. Like some niggas will be like, "You're bugging," but playing the Knicks, come on, bro. And then who else after that? Potentially the fucking Pacers or Bucks. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. If it works out for them again, bro, how do I evaluate the way that I think about this team? I see the little Wi-Fi signal thing over Kendall. Kendall, can you speak? I don't know if it's allowing you to. Yeah,
I can speak.
Oh, okay. Final thoughts, brother.
Get that yam off your face. Hey, boy. Get that yam off your face. White boy.
Wiser words have never been spoken. Shout out to a real one for out here throwing some haymakers. But yeah, we appreciate all of you guys for tapping in with us on YouTube and on playback, and the people who are watching us on Twitter. Make sure y'all follow us during the postseason. Y'all come on our playback channel. Make sure you become a member, subscribe, or however you do that thing over here, and then talk to us. Jump in here. Join the conversation. For those of you who watch us on YouTube, we appreciate y'all over there. That's the home. We'll be on post game shows for all of that. And make sure y'all check us out on Twitch sometimes. Like we're doing some really interesting stuff over there. Justin right now is playing Elden Ring on Twitch. Not live right now, but that's one of the journeys that he's on. So yeah, try and run the numbers up over there. Appreciate y'all. And like LJ always says, y'all make sure y'all be good people. Have a great rest of y'all day.